So you're thinking of moving to Bend, Oregon? In this episode, we're gonna hop into the computer and give you a map tour of Bend, Oregon. We're gonna show you how far each kind of neighborhood takes to get to the airport, how far you are from the surrounding cities, and where the hospital is, some of the highlights of town, so we can just kind of show you around. So if you're ready for it, let's jump into it. If this is your first time on the channel and you'd like to know everything about living in Bend, Oregon, subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market in Bend, Oregon. My name is Zach Nutter, and my team and I get calls, texts, and emails every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Bend, Oregon, and we absolutely love it. So if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All our contact information is below. We'd absolutely love to help you out. With that being said, let's get into this map tour. All right, guys, so we have hopped on the Google map here, and this is Bend that you're seeing here. So if we zoom out just a little bit, you can see Tumalo's down here. You've got Redmond up here, Powell Butte. We zoom out a little bit more, and we can see where Sun River is. So Sun River is about 12 to 15 minutes. If you're on the north end of Bend, it could be a little further out. So Sun River is a very, very tourist-driven area. It's got a lot of bike trails and different stuff. Really, really neat place. You scroll down a little further and you can see Lapine here. So Lapine has a ton of lakes and rivers, and it's a much smaller community. There's about 2,500, 3,000 people. The surrounding area is pretty large, but Lapine itself is a pretty small community, really neat community. So we get back to Bend here. If we want to zoom way out and we want to take a look at, so if you want to get to Portland, depending on where you're at in town, how fast you drive, it's about 2.5, 3 hours to Portland. Let's move this around real quick. So there's two directions you can take. So you can take Sisters out towards Detroit Lake, through Salem, up into Portland, or you can come up through, oh, that's not the one I wanted. So you can come up here through Government Camp, Gresham, into Portland. Both about the same time. It just kind of depends on where you're going to Portland. So the closest major city is Portland, and call it about 3 hours away. So if we zoom back in here, let's jump out of the web paint. Zoom in here, you can see Redmond. Redmond's about 20, 25 minutes away, again, depending on where you're at in Bend. So the Redmond Airport is right in here. So a lot of you that'll be moving here probably travel a lot for work. So from the center of Bend, let's get web paint back up. Center of Bend to the Redmond Airport it's about, call it 25 minutes. So not too far. Well, we're having problems with our paint today, but that's all right. I'll jump back on there. So you come in here and it's about 25 minutes. So Redmond Airport is really small. We're starting to get more and more direct flights to it, but it's really fantastic because security is pretty low. If you get there in the morning, believe it or not, the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock a.m. flights are quite a bit busier. Afternoon flights, I mean, you can get to the airport 45 minutes, an hour early. I know they suggest 2 hours early, but morning flights, you do want to be there 2 hour and a half, 2 hours early, but on the afternoon flights, you're usually, but if you miss your flight because you took off late, don't blame me, but just a little inside knowledge there. So let's actually get into Bend itself. So population of Bend is about 103,000, I believe, when the last census came out. So a lot of growth. In the gray here, you can see the kind of the city limits. So let's get that back up. We're kind of all around in here. So, and this part right here is actually not in the city limits, but it's part of Bend. This is Deschutes River Woods, really desirable neighborhood with large lots. Most lots are 3/4 of an acre to an acre. Lots of ponderosa trees. Really, really neat neighborhood. Southwest Bend. This is mostly all in the county over here, but out here you've got the rest of Bend. So right here you've got Southwest Bend, Southeast Bend, Northwest Bend, and Northeast Bend. So a couple neat features. So if we want to look to see, okay, if the hospital is important to you, we do have really great hospital facilities. So you come over here, Northeast Bend. So you've got the hospital here. You've got Pilot Butte. So Pilot Butte State Park is a beautiful butte in the middle of Bend. A lot of people use it as a walking trail, a ton of people getting exercise. Certain times of the year you can drive, but other times it's just a walking trail. During the winter, I believe they close that down mostly. So Pilot Butte is definitely a cool area. And then you've got St. Charles here. Get our paint tool back out. Lots of great restaurants. So we talked about, so Northwest over here, Northeast, Southeast, and Southwest over here. So Bend's got a ton of golf courses. One of the most popular is over here, which is Tethro. Also a great community, a lot of very high-end homes. Let's see if we can get some. So you can see the golf course here, and then you've got Broken Top here. They're really close to each other, but if you're into golf, these are absolutely great neighborhoods for golf. And then on the southeast side of town, or southwest, southeast over here, you've got Lost Tracks Golf Club, and then you've got Bend Golf and Country Club. There are tons of golf courses here. If that's something that interests you, let me know. I'd love to take you out golfing. It's one of my favorite hobbies, and so I know a lot about the golf courses here in Bend. But enough of golf. So we've talked about where the hospital's at. We've talked about where the airport is. So downtown and the Old Mill are kind of two of the bigger tourist attractions here, or a lot of things that if you're going out to a nice dinner. Most of the really good restaurants are downtown, Old Mill. There's restaurants everywhere, but so let's get into it. So Drake Park here, there's a beautiful park, and then you've got downtown here. So I'll get back into so you can see we've got Bond Street and Wall Street, and then you can walk down into Drake Park all along Muir Pond right here. It's a really, really neat area. And the Old Mill, which is not far from there either, has a lot of the same. So the Old Mill has our movie theater. It has a bunch of shopping. It's a really neat area. And it's actually, they were old mill buildings that they completely remodeled, put new stacks up to make it look like a mill. So super, super neat area of town. Another thing in the summer that has become incredibly popular is floating the river. So a lot of people will get in right around here. So you can drop in anywhere, Farewell Bend Park, River Bend Park. There's a bunch of drop-ins, and you float along the river here. And then there's a little whitewater park. When you get down here, cruise around. It's about, I want to say it's an hour and 15 float. I haven't done it in a long time, but you get out at Drake Park right here. And there's a little whitewater park that Bend Park and Rec has developed. It's got a wave, it's got a safe passageway through the side here, but a wave for people that like to surf the river. Super, super cool place. So we wanted to talk about the mountain too. So if you're heading up to Bachelor, so a lot of people, when they move here, they're moving here for the mountain. So if you are considering moving for the mountain, the northwest and the southwest sides of town are obviously going to be the closest to Mount Bachelor. Mount Bachelor's up here. This is the road that you take out there. It's Cascade National Scenic Byway. You take Century Drive out. You pass by Tethro on the way out. It's a really beautiful drive. There's tons of lakes on the way through there. So super, super neat spot. But if Mount Bachelor is really important to you, those areas of town are great. Again, there's nothing that's super far in Bend. I mean, most things will take you 10, 15 minutes to get to. Obviously, Bachelor's further out there, but there's nothing that's super far. So just because you bought a house on the northeast side of town or southeast side of town doesn't mean that it's that much further to get to Mount Bachelor. So a couple of other things here. So Northwest Crossing has become a very popular area. Let's see if we can find it over here. So you've got a row of great restaurants, and they just put in a really, really cool area that's got indoor kind of food carts. You've got Summit High School over here. Really, really neat area. So Bend has 4 high schools. So there is Bend High, which is right kind of in the middle of town. And then you've got Mountain View, which is over here, northeast. Northwest, like we were showing you, you have Summit over here. And then they just built a brand new high school. Let's see, it's over here off of Reed and 15th. Caldera High School. So this is a Southeast Bend. It's a beautiful, beautiful new high school. And then they just built a new park called Alpenglow Park right here. That is a 33-acre park with a splash pad. Let's see if we satellite view. It's brand new, so you probably won't be able to really see what it looks like. So there's High Desert over there. Caldera, yeah, so it doesn't even show the new high school. So these maps are a little outdated, but right here, brand new high school. Alpenglow Community Park is right here. And then they just built, or they're building a big master plan development in here that's absolutely fantastic. So let's see here. What else do we want to talk about? Short distances to everything again. We've got a little airport. So this isn't for commercial flight. Over here, the Bend Municipal Airport is more of the people that are flying prop planes, different stuff like that. A lot of teaching goes on out there. So it is a busy airport, but it's not for commercial flight. So Bend is, I just saw this pop up, Bend is home to the last blockbuster on planet Earth. There are a lot of people that tend to come in and check that out. So that's kind of an overview of Bend, guys. If you have any additional questions or things you'd like me to point out to you, I'd absolutely love to do that. And again, if you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, we'd absolutely love to talk to you. So contact information is below, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.